This, by contrast, features a creature that has been extinct for far longer than we would ever hope to endure as a species. And one of our superpowers as humans is the ability to give names to things that lived and died billions of years before us without ever knowing what they were called. So I suppose it's like if your name is Lisa, but then some creature 10 billion years hence digs up your perfectly fossilized skeleton and says, right, that's a perfect example of Jane. Somewhere, something cries out, no, not Jane, Lisa. Or they might say, Lars. There's an example of, they wouldn't just walk up out of the void and say Lars without any context, because there'd be no way of responding to that. The director would go, cut, we need to know why. So that wouldn't happen, but it would be very easy for this potential as yet born, thought of or created being to misname your bones. Anyway, we called this thing a trilobite. And it didn't know it was a trilobite any more than a stegosaurus knew it was a stegosaurus. And Richard Nixon knew his name was Richard N. Nixon because he had someone to open the doors for him, open the bathroom door, and they'd hand him a little chit saying, "You are Richard N. Nixon." And one day somebody forgot and he didn't know who he was. They said, "There's a bloke called Eisenhower in the toilet in the West Wing," and they said, "Check, I don't think he's here anymore." And of course it was Nixon. They hadn't given him his piece of paper. He didn't know what was going on. And you imagine the same situation with possibly hundreds of millions of stegosauruses all over the Jurassic period, not knowing what they're called, unable to get out of the bathroom, and causing havoc for the security people in an already overstressed situation. It's a marvel that this planet's continued as long as it has, and despite our doing our best to capsize it, I think we should definitely give one up internally for the people who did sort these creatures up with their little cards, and must have taught them to read too, even though they didn't know what they were called. You see, somewhere along the line, I have logically stepped off to one side of the rails, and here comes an express train with a big round headlight. That didn't hurt, did it? Okay, so the trilobite looked a bit like a lady's shaving device from the 1940s. Those of you who were shaving ladies in the 40s will remember this only too vividly, but of course, because it's fossilized, it's made of stone, and the ladies' shaving devices were in those days made of what in Britain we call Bakelite. And it's fragile, it can shatter if you freeze it and then drop it from a height of above 10 feet onto a sheet metal floor, it'll break. Mind you, so with a stegosaurus. Or even a modern hairdryer. You did a modern hairdryer in dry ice. I'm not playing for time, this is just entertainment. If you drop it in dry ice and then drop it from a height, it will eventually shatter. The only way you can avoid this happening is to build an infinite pit below it. So whatever you've frozen and you drop goes right through the centre of the Earth, and I suppose out the other side until gravity pulls it back up, which is why actually the Nazis with their hollow Earth theory weren't so far off. There is a huge area of floating electrical devices in the middle of this planet that nobody can get at. A potential treasure trove, sorry, I misread that off the cue for Etsy. So, the trilobite looked like a lady's shaving device, and it was quite segmented in the way that things were back in the 40s. There was more time. There was no internet, so things were more carefully made. There were lots of little rivets and screws and stuff like that. And it had some pleasant sort of hairy wands coming off the end and an eager mouth. Who wouldn't? And it was called that, and this song is about it. There's a middle bit, a chorus, which doesn't have any connection with the song, which is referring to Elton John in his original name of Reg Dwight getting into a sort of down-market baker's shop somewhere in the home counties in Britain and having something to eat. It's not a reference to Eisenhower. You'll get it, and it's nothing to do with Nixon. Trilobite, right, Dwight's in the light bite. Trilobite, right in the light bite, Dwight. Trilobite, right, Dwight's in the light bite. Trilobite, right in the light bite, Dwight. Basking on the shores of time. The little stone creature ain't dead to the world. They call him Trilobite, right, Dwight's in the light bite. Trilobite, right in the light bite, Dwight. Clicking away for a second of fame. A billion years later they give it a name. They call him Trilobite, right, Dwight's in the light bite. Trilobite, right in the light bite, Dwight. Trilobite, right, Dwight's in the light bite. Trilobite, right in the light bite, Dwight. When I'm too wasted these rocks to clamber, well, lean me on the cliff and encase me in amber. A creature from the future in way out when can clock my fossil and name me Sven. That's a nice name. Built for a world where nothing needs shaving. Look at them stone antennae waving. Trilobite, right, Dwight's in the light bite. Trilobite, right in the light bite, Dwight. Let's hold a clicking championship. The Trilobite wins and everybody else loses. Trilobite. Trilobite. Thanks.